في القوات المسلحة اليمنية عملية استهداف لسفينة كيم رينجر الأمريكية في خليج عدن، وذلك بصواريخ بحرية مناسبة، وكانت الإصابة مباشرة بفضل الله. إن القوات المسلحة اليمنية تؤكد أن الرد على الاعتداءات الأمريكية والبريطانية قادم لا محالة، وأن أي اعتداء جديد لن يبقى دون رد وعقاب.
The US government has announced that it's once again designating Yemen Houtis as a rebel and terrorist organization. The Houtis, have you heard of the Houtis? Well, the Houtis are very particular people. Washington on Wednesday to release the group as specially designated global terrorist. Specially designated global terrorist.
Further today, the Secretary of State announced the designation of the Houthis as a specially designated global terrorist, effective February 16th for threatening the security of the United States.
So the Houthis were designated as terrorist organization by Donald Trump. Then Biden released them from that name, and now they're putting them back into that name. We're going to try and find out very quickly what does that mean? Why is that being done? So who are the Houthis? The Houthis are based in Yemen. They are an armed group that control most part of Yemen, including the capital, Sana'a. Why are the Houthis attacking the Red Sea ships? And these are the reasons why they're being called terrorists. The Houthis say the attack on commercial and military ships with potential Israeli links are primarily aimed to pressuring Tel Aviv to end its war on Gaza. So the Houthis are saying they are attacking ships right now at that strip because they're trying to get Israel to stop bombing Gaza.
إن القوات المسلحة اليمنية مستمرة في تنفيذ إجراءاتها الدفاعية والهجومية ضمن حق الدفاع المشروع عن اليمن العزيز، وتأكيدا على استمرار الدعم والإسناد لإخواننا الصامدين في قطاع غزة.
When the war started in Gaza and many countries did not express themselves with regard to this situation, the Houthis, who are rebel group in Yemen, started bombing ships in the Red Sea. You know, ships have to go across that strip for commercial purposes. So the Houthis started bombing ships they thought were Israeli ships. So initially they started bombing those ships. They wanted to put pressure on Israel to stop bombing Gaza. Let me just remind you, after the war started in Gaza, the United States sent a big warship and a few other ships next to Israel to protect Israel from any attacks. Once the Houthis started bombing and attacking ships in the Red Sea, the US and UK organized a strike in Yemen. They went and bombed the Houthis in Yemen. The Houthis said the reason why they're doing this is because they want to get Israel to stop bombing Gaza. And that is the way for them to pressure Israel. Now, let me remind you that a while back, the Houthis were declared a terrorist group by Donald Trump. For whichever reason, that became very difficult because the Houthis have been fighting their own government for a long time. They are known as Ansar Allah, supporters of God. They are an armed group that control most of Yemen, including the capital. The Houthis emerged in the 90s but rose in prominence in 2014 when the group rebelled against Yemen government, causing it to step down and sparkling crippling humanitarian crisis. So after they attacked their own government, it was a humanitarian crisis in the country. And after that, they were called a terrorist group. And because they were called a terrorist group, they could not get any aid or any support from any decent organization. That's how it works. If you are called a terrorist group, no other company can deal with you. Nobody can send you help. Nobody can financially deal with you. Because if any company deals with you financially or commercially, they're going to get sanctioned by the US and other organizations. So at that time, Donald Trump called them a terrorist organization in order to get no other company, no other entity to financially deal with them. He was hoping to impoverish them by doing that. Then when Joe Biden came into power, he removed the Houthi from that identification in order to allow them to breathe, to get some money, some funding, because Yemen was going through a very difficult time at that time. So now that the Houthis have risen to fight against Israel, to put pressure on Israel because of what's happening in Gaza, they are called again a specially designated terrorist group. So this is how it works. When you are called a specially designated terrorist group, it means no financial can come to you anymore. No funding, no help, no aid can come to you. Now, some people believe this is a way from America to put pressure on the Houthis to stop attacking any ship that's going through the Red Sea. So let me just remind you here that the Red Sea and the Suez Canal account for 30% of the world container ship traffic. Okay, 30% of the world container ship. So 30% of the world container ship go through that strip. They go through the Canal of Suez in Egypt. The Canal of Suez was built by Egypt. Okay, they bombed that side to make a way for the ships to come from Europe and go all over the world. Many years before, ships had to go across Africa, go down to South Africa and up for it to go to India. And any ships coming from Asia had to go down to Cape Town, down to South Africa and up to Europe again. And that was a very long trip. It was very difficult. It required a lot of funding, a lot of logistics. So in order to diminish that distance, they bombed that side. They destroyed that little trench of Egypt, creating a new canal. And that canal will generate a lot of money for the countries. And then at the time, Britain wanted to get the money from the canal. They wanted to make it theirs. You understand what I'm saying? Great Britain wanted to make that canal their own way of making money. And that is one of the reasons why they went to war with Egypt at the time. So just imagine, this is my land. This is my canal. Just because you participated on building it, you want this funds and the money. And because every ship that passes there pays money and pays a tax, you want the money to come into Britain because you participated. The Egyptians were not having it. They were not happy about that. And that was one of the reasons why it created war. So again, the Houthis are called a terrorist group today by the Biden administration because they feel like it's a way to put pressure on them. Why is that? Because the Houthis have been attacking ships going through the Red Sea. And why have the Houthis have been attacking ships? They say they're doing that because they want to support Gaza. They want to put pressure on Israel to stop bombing Gaza. Because they feel like many other countries could have done many similar things. Many other countries could have pressured Israel, but they have not done so because they fear. And them, they're not scared. The United States and UK sent war planes to go and bomb Yemen, to go bomb the Houthis in the country. And the Houthis said they will not be deterred by that. They are not afraid. They're going to continue for what they believe is right. The Houthis said they were wrong if they thought they would deter Yemen from supporting Palestine and Gaza. So this just shows how determined these people are into believing what they believe in. And do you think they're right to believe what they believe in? Do you think they have the right to defend Palestine and Gaza from the attack they're getting from Israel? Do you think attacking ships is the best way to go about it? Because initially it was we attacking ships that probably belong to Israel or ships that are dealing with Israel. Then lately they've been attacking any ships going through the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal. And obviously this is going to disturb the economy of the world, because if 30% of the ships go through that canal, it means it's going to affect everybody, at least in Europe, in that manner. So is it a way perhaps to get Europe to react very quickly by disturbing that canal, by making noise, by exploding, by making those type of moves that we've never seen before? Because in most cases, when the US-backed action is happening somewhere, no other country will dare say something about it. But these people are clearly have been rebels for the longest time. They don't care. They really don't care about anything. It looks like they've suffered their whole life. So they say the fact that you've bombed us will not deter us. It will not stop us from doing things that we're supposed to do.
نتردد إن شاء الله في فعل كل ما نستطيع وسنواجه العدوان الأمريكي. أي اعتداء أمريكي لن يبقى أبدا بدون رد، والرد لن يكون فقط بمستوى العملية التي نفذت أخيرا في استهداف الأمريكيين في البحر بأكثر من 24 طائرة مسيرة وبعدة صواريخ. الرد أكبر من ذلك.
Let me know how you feel about this. Do you feel somebody should believe in whatever they believe to a level where they can become immune to reaction, immune to any attacks like the Houthis are? Or do you think at some point you need to stop and rethink yourself because the sanctions and the pressure are too strong? Do you think you should fight to the death for something you believe? Or being alive justifies everything? Or just because you need to be alive, you need to accept anything? Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.